Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Author Collaborative. As always, I'll be talking to an author whose book I have recently read and enjoyed. And my guest for this week is Pinki Bakshi. She's a blogger turned author, and she is somebody who's coming on the show for the first time. In fact, she's coming on the show with her debut novella, The Song of Our Bond, and I'm very excited to talk to her because she's someone whose writing journey I have followed ever since she started putting out stories on her blog. And I first read one of her fiction stories on her blog, and I have been an admirer of her writing since then, and it gives me immense joy to be a part of this journey with her, where she has taken one of those stories that she put out on her blog and turned it into a book. We are going to talk about this book and her journey from a blogger to an author and how she went about writing this story. Very excited to talk to her, and we are going to begin the episode soon. Let me just quickly see if she's already here. First of all, very good afternoon to everyone joining from India, and good morning to anyone else who is joining, like me, from other parts of the world where it's still uh, the sun has not risen over here yet. So, very good morning, very early morning to everyone else joining us from other parts of the world. Okay, let me quickly see if Pinki is here. If she is, I can start the episode right away. Pinki isn't here yet. Let's just stay tuned. I am quickly going to send her the live so we can start. Hi Pinki, thank you for joining. Hi Siddhant. Okay, Pinki is here. Let me quickly. Says Pinki is unable to join. Hi Sita Lashmi, thank you for joining. Okay. Pinki, I've sent you a fresh invitation. It should have gone through now. Yes. You'll have to turn on your front camera. Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Manali. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Very excited to have you on the
Doing
show
great.
finally.
Thank you
And
so much for having me here.
yeah, I was just telling the audience that I've seen your journey from a blogger to an author, and it gives me so much joy and pride to see that some of the words that I read on your blog are now a part of a book. So, very, very excited to talk about that journey, about this book. First of all, let's show everyone the book that we are talking about. I didn't do that. Just a minute. It's lovely, lovely cover, very vibrant colors. This is the book that we are going to talk about. But before we dive into that, can you please briefly introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, hi. Yes, my debut book, The Song of Our Bond, was recently published. But I feel that most of the life I spent writing. I started writing professionally since 2012. Yes. So when I was writing professionally, like all texts for academic books and abstracts for research articles, I felt that I'm writing what I'm supposed to write. Okay. So my creative side needed an outlet. So in 2020, I started my own blog, Cerebration. And believe me, that has been the sweetest and the safest place ever since. And that's where my stories come to life. And beyond my writing desk, I am a certified yoga trainer. And I think my inspiration to write about yogic practices, mindfulness, and meditation comes from there.
Okay.
And right now, I am a mother to a toddler. My daughter Prisha will turn 2 this 27th.
Wow.
And this phase is
So cute.
means it's magical and chaotic. And I'm drawing all the inspiration I can from this phase.
And in fact, I was just sharing it with someone. Someone just asked me, "What is this odd timing that you have chosen for yourself?" Because it's 7:30 a.m. in the morning for me, and everyone knows how important my sleep is for me. And
I'm so sorry for disturbing that, but
because no, completely all right. I am going to probably go to sleep after this again. So no issues. So I was just telling them that she's a mother to a toddler, so I have to make some adjustment. There are some guests for whom
Thank
I will
you.
make an exception.
Thank you. I'm honored.
So yeah, uh, you were just mentioning that she's turning two. So in a
Yes,
sense, you have had a journey of birthing this book also and birthing another human also, like almost at the same time, which must be another surreal experience for you, right?
absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I was weaving the tale in my mind when I was cradling her to sleep and during those night wakings. I don't know, I felt very creative in this phase. I feel really very creative. Means I get the ideas when I am putting her to sleep. I just means think random ideas. I just note them down, and in the midnight I write my own articles. So I think yes, somewhere these two are linked, and it's very close to my heart.
Yes, and Siddhant has just cracked a joke about the title of the book, which is "The Name is Bond, the Song of a Bond."
Thank you, Siddharth. That's a catchy phrase, actually. I'll use
So
it.
yes. So, without further ado, let's give the audience a glimpse of what this book is all about. I'm just going to read out a few passages from the first chapter itself because we don't want to give away too much. Firstly, I want to say my experience of reading the book. I have already mentioned in the caption sharing about the live yesterday that I read this story first as a part of your blog series,
Yes.
where you wrote this as a part of the Blog Chatter A to Z challenge. In fact, the coincidence is that both of our books that we are discussing today
Yes.
belong to the same challenge. The concept was laid there for both
Mhm.
of us. We started the journey of both our books from that particular challenge. So
So
I'm
thank you
very
so
happy
much,
about
Chatter.
that coincidence also. एंड आई मतलब मैं तो मतलब वो क्या कहते हैं लिटमस टेस्ट वाले जो ऑडियंस होती है वो थी मैं.
Even I
So
wanted to test the waters कि क्या reaction रहता है. So it was the best platform to put it out there.
exactly. And I remember when I read the last part of the story, I remember that I had commented that I want to see this being converted into a book, and I'm very very happy that you took that initiative and chose to convert that particular story into a book, because
Yes,
I have
thank you.
mentioned in this the caption also yesterday that your writing deserves more audience, and I'm very happy to see that you
Thank
are
you.
taking that plunge.
Thank you. Thank you so much for such kind
Prashant
words.
is saying Block Chatter bringing out the author in you. Yes, quick shout out to Block Chatter because
Absolutely,
both of us
absolutely.
are, both of us currently are in the same boat where we have turned our books, our writing from our blogs into books thanks to Block Chatter.
Absolutely.
And without further ado, I'm just going to read out a few passages. This is the book that we are talking about again. This is the beautiful cover. I'm going to talk more about it. Let me just first share a glimpse from the book. This is from the first chapter, chapter 1, A Tale of Two Worlds. Okay. And it starts. The story dates back to 1970 when India was a strange mix of unity and division. The rich diversity of cultures and languages made the country so unique. But on the other hand, one could not ignore the silent but strong walls between different communities. One of those divides was between Bengalis and Odias, presently called Odias. To outsiders, this might not seem like a big deal. Aren't they both from the eastern part of India? Aren't they neighbors? But no, for Bengalis with their love for Tagore's poetry and Kosha Mangsho, and Orias proud of their Jagannath temple and Pakhala Bhata, the differences felt real. The Ghosh family learned this the hard way. Mr. Satyabrata Ghosh, a traveling ticket examiner with the Indian Railways, was comfortably stationed in Howrah, West Bengal, until a transfer order arrived. He had to leave behind the familiarity of Calcutta, present-day Kolkata, and relocate to Khurda Road in Orissa, present-day Odisha, along with his wife, Loki Rani, and their 9-year-old daughter, Meena. It wasn't just a change of location. It felt like they had been uprooted from their very identity. Calcutta was home, and what a home it was. The trams rattling down College Street, the quiet dignity of the Howrah Bridge, the intellectual arguments over cups of steaming chai. All of it was part of the rhythm. Moving to Khurda Road was sudden and unexpected. It was like being torn away. When the train rolled into the Khurda Road railway station, the first thing they noticed was the smell of earth. Different, not bad, just unfamiliar. Station was small, bustling, and noisy in a way that didn't feel like Kolkata's chaos. Mr. Ghosh was allotted a small government quarter, which was surrounded by vast green fields instead of the noisy streets they were used to. The neighbors were already curious. Some smiled, some stared, and a few whispered to each other, already calling them the new Bengali family. Meena, the youngest Ghosh, felt their eyes follow her as she clutched her favorite doll and peeked shyly at the children playing outside. Her mother, on the other hand, was trying to keep her cool. She had spent the last few days planning how to set up her kitchen in this unfamiliar place. And then came the first disaster. Mache jol, fish curry. The fish was wrong. The spices didn't taste the same. And by the end of the meal, the whole family sat in gloomy silence. They were missing the flavors of Calcutta and the rhythm and routine of their old life. So this is how the story begins, and go check out the book to find out how the Ghosh family adjusts to their new setting and their new neighbors. And I do have a few favorite from the neighbors, but I'm not giving away too much. I'll just give you a little hint. Uh, they are very good at baking stuff.
I remember that.
So yeah, this is how the story begins, and we are already introduced to one of the protagonists, Meena, and the other protagonist is going to come in soon, who becomes her soul sister, who becomes her BFF, and the story. One of the first things I think I mentioned in the first line of my review itself that there are so few stories who talk about female friendships and sisterhood, and I think it is a very important bond in every female's life. We
True.
don't hype each other enough. We don't talk enough about how important the female friends in our lives are for our support system. So, baking food or baking gossip, Siddhant is asking. I think both. You'll have to check out. And Nilshi is here. आ गई मैं. So Nilshi has announced her arrival. Thank you for
Hi.
joining us, Nilshi. You didn't miss out much. You joined at the right time when I think I began reading from the book. So welcome. So yes, one of the first things that I really liked about the book is that it talks about female friendships, one of the most important relations in our life. I mean, not just with our friends. I think there is something to say about the bond we share with our grandmothers and mothers also, which we don't
Yes.
talk enough about. How well we bond with them because they understand not just what we are going through hormonally, but also spiritually. Also, I think we connect better with people from the same gender. Something that is not addressed well in literature, I feel, and not very much. And it deserves a lot more. Sakshi is also here. A quick shout out to Sakshi, who is the editor of the book,
That's actually,
and also
yes.
another dear friend.
She saved me at
Hi,
the last time.
hi Sakshi. Great job with the editing. Shout out again. Okay. So, yeah, in fact, one of the questions that I had related was related to this particular thing. If you would be kind enough to answer that, I would like to begin asking you the questions I had in mind related to this book.
Sure,
Okay.
please.
So my first question to you is just a quick. I have to pull them up because there are so many questions that I had. Quick recap for everyone who has just joined us. We are talking about Pinky's debut novella, The Song of Our Bond, and I have just read out a few passages from the book. Now I am going to bombard her with some questions.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So my first question to you is, you have mentioned in the dedication that the story is inspired by stories of Khurda Road that you heard from your own mother and grandmother. What role do you think that verbal storytelling of this kind plays in the life of storytellers like us who use the written word for narrating stories as against the verbal word? And how much of the personal narrative you heard did you blend in with fiction in this story, and what was that process like?
Okay. Yes, the seed of this book definitely comes from the stories I have heard growing up. Okay. And we come from a tradition of Shruti and Smriti texts. So when you talk about verbal storytelling, immediately comes the Vedas, the four Vedas.
Yes,
So even
exactly.
they are primarily Shruti texts. Yes.
Hmm.
So we have been passed down the knowledge of wisdom, history, and stories through listening. Because I believe when we listen to some stories, we subconsciously inherit the uh, unspoken parts, like the tone, the silences, and sometimes the nostalgia. And all
Correct.
these things collectively become what we call emotional anchor, emotional
Yes.
memory. Yes. And this emotional memory actually helps in shaping the story.
Hmm.
So this is very important. And in my book, since the stories were from childhood days and it's completely from nostalgia, so whatever I imbibed from my mother and my grandmother, my late grandmother, well, it helped in shaping the story in a great way. And when you ask about how much is the fiction and the personal narrative, well, when I was growing up, I heard these stories, but they were in scattered forms,
Hmm.
like they weren't interconnected.
Hmm.
My mother would tell me the stories about the neighborhood and how they mingled in those days, because it's very different from now. And the D'Souza's name changed actually exists. They would bring dishes
Oh,
to our
wow.
home. Yes. And one more interesting thing, like the characters of my book, Meena and Kasturi. So my
Hmm.
mother's name is Reena, and she has a childhood friend whose name is Kasturi, and Kasturi auntie
Wow.
still lives in Khudda Road. Yes,
Oh, nice.
exactly. So their bond survived the pre-internet era. They are childhood friends, and their bond is still thriving. Okay, so that is something very inspirational for me. And and some of our relatives did move to the US. So all these things happened, and so this personal narrative actually became the foundation of my book.
Hmm.
Okay, and the fiction grew from it. So you can say that the childhood part was inspired from the personal narrative. It
Yeah.
actually happened, and then the adolescent part and the final part comes from my imagination.
Okay. Also take us to the process of since you already knew some bits through your grandmother and your mother. Take us to the research that you had to do to add the elements that were fictionalized in the story.
Yeah, so I had to write things that I could feel. So
Hmm.
that's the thing. Until unless I feel things, I am not able to write properly. So the childhood part, I have listened, I have imbibed those emotions. So it was pretty easy and it was smooth for me. But when it came to the adolescent, I was like, I don't know, this hasn't happened, but I have to give them a closure.
Hmm.
So I took some inspiration, like some of my friends went abroad. Okay.
Hmm.
And how did I feel? Like most of them are either in Australia or Finland. And how I felt, how I took the distance, how I still nurtured it within me. So that thing I took from my experience, how I felt, how I,
Hmm.
yeah, and I still means like when my friend visits me, what is the feeling? And sometimes she's angry with me. My childhood friend Ankita, when she's angry with me, how she would behave. So I took inspiration from my own life to describe the childhood, school days, as well as the adolescent part.
Oh, lovely. And did you also read upon the communal rights that form such a
Yes.
major part in the story? What did that what kind of research did that entail?
Yeah, actually, this is a very lesser known event.
Yeah,
When
exactly. Yeah.
I tried to search on Google and very few articles came upon. So
Mhm.
I actually talked to the people living there.
Living there. Okay.
But surprisingly, means very less incidents have been documented. Most of them doesn't know what happened, and you will come to know the reason of this riot when you read the book. It's such a trivial matter, okay,
Yes.
but it was really very horrid. The situation was very horrid, and
Yeah.
yes, even today when my mother narrates those stories, like that uncertainty, that pain still shows in her eyes. So I talked to her and my cousin, my people, my her childhood friends who are still in Khurda Road. I had to interview them. I had to talk to them to actually know how it mm, happened and what they felt. And in the process, I also talk to my friends living abroad, like how is the life there, because I don't know the experience. I had to talk to them, how is the experience, what challenges you face when you move out of India. So that was the Kasturi's part. And I think most of the time I had to connect with people to do my research and know how they feel, and that's how the story shaped into.
Yeah, in fact, thank you for mentioning that, because in my detailed review, not on the review that I have shared on Instagram, in my detailed review, I have pointed out this very thing, that this is something that we have not read much about. This
Yes.
part of history, I have not read about at least before.
It is
And
not talked about, yes. Bengalis
yes,
and Odia means even today I shouldn't say there is a kind of rift, but yeah, it's very trivial. But there is
yeah,
some
but
kind of rift even today.
there's no text, no literature about the
Yes.
unrest that happened in the, like, it is our own country and we don't know what happened between these two
Absolutely.
communities. So such stories are in fact even more important to know about such events that have formed the way the country is today, which is very important. And that's why stories like this become a source of spreading information and knowledge also. It's a fictional story, yes, but it tells about a time in history that we don't know much about, which is, again, we go back to how important verbal narration is, and then taking inspiration from that and turning those into stories that people of today can read, making it accessible to the readers of today, again, becomes important.
True. It's like these stories also help us to understand how a child, like my mother was quite young at that time, so how these
Mhm.
events shape a child's mind and how they move on in their life. So I wanted to show all that through Mina's point of view.
I have mentioned that as well, that you have talked about the uh, workings of a child's mind during the riots,
Yes.
very beautifully brought out.
Thank you. I've
Okay,
just
that
tried
brings me
to.
to my second question, which is that something that I really admired. I have already mentioned this, but I want to point it out again, that there is complete focus on the two women who are central to the story and their bond and how it survives the test of time. So there are very few male characters. In fact, only four or five that I can recall from
Yeah.
off the top of my head. Some are there just for a scene or two. Others are there for a longer part, but only a few of significance. Was this a conscious choice? If so, why and how did you do this? And also, how difficult was this decision to see through, not just as an author, but also as somebody who loves reading romances like I do, and also being skeptical about the audience reception to such kind of a story.
Yes. Well, yes, it was a conscious decision because this story for me is all about female relationships, their friendship, their bond, their trust, their disappointments. Okay,
Hmm.
everything about women. Like every emotional rhythm that they carry inside but don't always speak about. So I wanted to show that without much male dominance or interference. Okay. And having heard those stories from my mother and grandmother, the two wonderful women from my life, I think I wanted the emotional landscape to be shaped according to a woman's perspective,
Mhm.
okay, right from their childhood. Manali, a child perceives grief and violence in a very different way as adults do.
Yeah.
So, how Meena and Kasturi took their separation grief and violence, and how they hold on to their bond, a hope that reminded them of good times. And then they moved on in life, flourished, carrying those scars, and still carrying that bond in their heart. Okay, so how a woman goes through all this, it is not much talked about. Men
Yes.
may not know. So I wanted to explore that. And since it's a novella, I wanted the emotional impact to be precise and I wanted it to be deep. And that's why it was a conscious decision not to include many elements or much of the male interference in this, because I wanted to highlight and showcase the female relationships here. And romantic, yes. Honestly, when I was having the idea of this story, I confronted to my husband कि
Hmm.
इसमें कोई romantic element है नहीं, कोई पढ़ेगा. तो he simply said कि क्यों नहीं पढ़ेंगे? It's such a beautiful story. And he's not a reader, means he reads he's a very selective reader, and if he is liking the story, so his confidence gave me the nudge to actually complete it. And once I completed the entire story, I realized that the emotional depth
Hmm.
and the love conflict between the women of my book is so deep that I think the readers will stay invested in. Means, they won't feel the need of a romantic angle anywhere.
True, true. And I'm so glad that you said about taking a third opinion, because this is very important when you are trying something which is unconventional.
Absolutely.
I like to call such Chris unconventional in literature. And it is very important to ask a third person and get an objective opinion on this, because we are so attached to our stories that we tend to think काम करेगा ही ना, इसमें क्या है.
No, I tell you, I was so immersed into my writing that at a point मुझे गलतियां नहीं मिल रही थी. That's
Yeah.
when I approached Sakshi also. कि Sakshi, you have to do the editing because there's something wrong. It's a red flag for me. So Sakshi helped me, and I think I talked about it with my husband, my friends, and I would suggest beta readers. I think it's great
Yeah.
to share your
Yes.
idea with them because
Exactly.
they give the
And yeah.
reader's perspective to you.
Yes, and also I consider my own blog as my beta testing ground. वही पहला टेस्ट हो जाता है आपका. You understand the audience reception right away. So you also did the same thing that I do, which is
Yes,
testing your content on your blog. Treat it as your beta testing ground. And then of course you have to take other opinions also, because everyone is not going to be honest on your blog. You also need a very subjective opinion about what is wrong with the content. That is also required. So
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
for that you need to talk to people in your life. You need to talk to hire an editor. Yes, again, very important. That is another person who will tell you what is wrong with your
Yes,
manuscript.
yes, because they're impartial and they will tell you straight away. And I like that. If there's a wrong, tell me. It's okay. So
Yeah, exactly.
and you need those things to move ahead with the story.
Yes. Okay. And no, I had not initially planned to on asking this because it's not in my script, but now that we are talking about it, I also want to talk to you about your experience of becoming an author from a blogger. Tell us about that journey also. How has that evolved, and what was the process like? What were the challenges?
Okay, blogging is comparatively more easy because that is my safe space. I write what I feel, what I desire, I can write. Okay. And some people may like, may not like. It's okay. I take the feedback and I move ahead. But when you are publishing a book, it feels like you are out in the public.
Yeah.
So it really takes a lot of courage to come out with a story because you are writing for the readers. Blog, I'm writing for myself. But when I publish a book, it's for the readers. So I have to take care how they perceive it and I have to know their perception as well. So the journey was very sudden, in fact. Means I didn't plan to publish this book in 2025 at all. Okay, it just happened and things fell into place. And I think the the pace grew when after the A to Z campaign blog chatter, when I really got some good reviews from you, from Mayuri, and when people were expecting the story as a book, and it was like, okay, chalo, publish kar sakte hain. It's good. So
Thank you.
yeah, so I think the blog gave me the platform to write, to speak. It gave me my voice. Okay. And over the years, like as I said, I have written professionally. So
Hmm.
I was bound by some criterias. But when I started my blog in 2020, I was liberated creatively.
Hmm.
And I started writing. I penned my voice. I found my voice with that. And initially, I will tell you, hardly visitors. There were hardly any visitors. There were hardly anyone to read your blogs. Okay. But I was happy that my word was out there somewhere. Okay.
Hmm.
Then I joined Blog Chatter, and as a community, we shared our work, and that helped in improving your confidence. Okay. And I remember in 2024, in during the rap party, they asked for some goals. I never make goals in my life. Okay, means I like कि, okay, देखते हैं कैसा चलता है. But
Huh.
for that post, I actually made some creative goals and personal goals. And in creative goals, it was like I would do experiment with my writing and my blog.
Okay.
And I and I never thought I'll write stories. I always wanted to, but I thought I'm too bad at it. I won't be able to pull off a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried writing some stories, and I started 2025 with the Blog Chatter's blog hop. And the very first story won the challenge.
I remember this was the story where we connected. Yes.
Yes, yes, it was a romantic story.
Yeah,
And
I remember both of us had written stories on that prompt, and
yes,
I remember reading up your story, and I was like, ye jeetegi." My story is not going to win. This story is going to win because it is so beautifully written. Go check out that story on the on Pinky's blog, everyone. It won the writing challenge that we are talking about, and both of us had written on the same prompt. I think it was beach and bookstore. That was the
absolutely,
prompt.
yes. Beach
Yes.
and bookstore and love in the air.
Yes.
So I wrote stories and I always saved them in the drafts. I never
Hmm.
published them much. Okay. But when I submitted this and this one, so it gave me the confidence ki, okay, there is an audience for stories like I write and read. And so I kept experimenting with blog chatter, blog hop prompts. And the turning point, I would say every conversation matters when you took me in there. Oh my God, it really gave me such a broad spectrum to write and think, like social issues and everything. So, writing every month and reading more blogs, it really boosts my confidence and my writing style. And slowly, I started writing, completing the story that I had in mind, The Song of Our Bond. It was perceived well and it became a book finally.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Every Conversation Matters is a blog hop series that I co-host with my dear friend Sukana Majid, and Pinky is a part of that blog hop series group. And every month we have a different theme that we write about. And I must say that that particular blog hop has been instrumental in not just Pinky's journey as a writer, but I think every community member, in fact, including both the hosts, myself and Sukana, we have also grown as writers because of that blog hop series. So it's always nice to have a community where everyone encourages you to write on different topics, challenge yourself as a writer, and write on subjects that matter. That's what this hop is all about. And I remember reading your beach story, and I was like, I have to have her in my blog hop series because she is such a wonderful writer. I cannot miss out on not having such a person in the ECM group. And I remember, I think I reached out to you on Twitter DM.
Yes, yes.
I was like,
I knew you always. Means I had seen you during the Prime chats and all, and I always admired your work.
thank
And
you.
when I received a message from you, it was like, oh my God, I finally received a message from you. And literally, every conversation matter has nudged me. Okay, come out of your comfort zone. I have written poetry. I've written stories, personal essays,
Yes.
and it's such a wonderful platform to experiment on your writing
Thank
challenges
you. Thank you.
and also read blogs. I think the more you read, the more you write well.
Exactly, yes. And every month we have such amazing entries because
True.
MC and I are forever happy that we don't have to choose the winners. The participants themselves vote for the ones that they have liked the most because we cannot. We really
No.
cannot because all the entries are so amazing. It's impossible to choose the top three. And a quick shout out to my co-host Sukana Majid. If you are here, see, someone is here who's appreciating our hard work, and it means so much to us. Thank you so much, Pinky.
No, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
Okay, and that brings me to the end of my questions that I had for you. You have also read my latest book. The floor is now yours.
Yes. Yes. So I read your book Fit Melt. My jeans fit well and the ice cream didn't melt. So you when you released it on your blog, so it was very intriguing. The title itself generated so much curiosity. And every day, as per alphabetical order, when you release the snippets, I tell you what I literally thought. I was reading and I was resonating so much that I thought कि अरे सब एक जैसे सोचते हैं क्या? Literally, I felt like यार ये तो मेरे साथ भी हो रहा है. And every day, every piece, and I couldn't agree more. So, and then when you launched your book, I immediately bought the e-copy, and I would read every day, like 2 to 3 nuggets every day when I'm free, or just I wanted a good laugh, and because it so felt so relatable, and I mean it was like a laughing riot. And then you won't believe, I got the paper bag as well.
Oh, lovely.
Because
So
um,
he's holding the
ebook,
paper bag, and this is the ebook, and this is the
yeah.
book that we are talking about. Yes, please go on. Yes.
So ebooks are convenient for me. Okay, you can read anywhere, but paperback is love. It's true love for me. So when I read the ebook, I was like, no, I want to see the illustrations. They are so finely made. So I wanted to see those illustrations on the page, means touch them, feel them, and flip the pages. It has a different kind of feeling. And so I just got the book as a handy, means I want to keep it as a like a manual or something, like whenever I'm feeling
Wow.
low I will go to and have some good laugh and feel relatable. So I have both the versions of this book, and it's lovely. The cover page is beautiful, and the illustrations are so clear. I'm emphasizing on the illustrations because I will tell you, when I released my story on the blog, every 26 chapter had one illustration. And
Yes.
when I used AI to create them, I faced so many challenges. Like कभी किसी का हाथ कहीं और है, कभी कोई और
Sorry,
कहीं
yeah.
देख रहा है. It's very difficult, and you have prepared this illustration with so much clarity and sharpness. I think you deserve like a big round of
Oh, thank
applause
you.
for working with
Thank you.
AI.
Thank you so much. Yes, a lot of hard work and a lot of effort has gone into it. So thank you for appreciating that.
No, you deserve all the praise. It's really
Thank you. Thank you so much.
hard work
Yes.
and mind work.
Yes, actually, yes. Correct word. Both were a combination of both. She's
Okay.
saying same writing is easy for us, illustrations are difficult. True, yes. This was like a new territory for me also.
Yes, and I could relate because I have worked with it, and it's like at one point I thought, like I used Canva and ChatGPT, and at one point I thought of giving up कि नहीं बनाते illustration, ऐसे ही chapter release करते, because it's so tedious task. I mean, AI को समझाना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है.
Yes.
So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I would like, as I told you, every illustration felt so relatable. Means I could relate to almost
So
all.
good to hear that.
I would like to read out some which I felt not the best ones. I think all are the best ones.
Oh, thank you.
So from C, call or text from someone unexpected.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, this is the one. Please go on.
Yes. Call or text from someone unexpected. The good kind, of course, and not always, and not someone saying, "Hey, remember, you said that to me a decade ago? Yeah, I still hate you for that." And the illustration says, "Okay, but why now? What do they want? Should I pretend to be surprised or send a sarcastic GIF? Wait, first let me read it this 4 times. Zoom in, overthink every punctuation mark." And here's the caption. Trying to be optimistic about a "Hey, what's up? Long time" from someone I last spoke to when Gemini was only a zodiac sign. How do you think of these lines? Like, it's commendable.
Yeah, so the caption for this was very instant, I have to tell you, because I had just started using Gemini for my illustrations, and I was like,
Okay.
what would be relevant for a caption like this, for a nugget like this, where I'm receiving a text from someone after a long time, and it felt like a good point to say that Gemini was maybe. I have not talked to this person from maybe 2 3 years, and I think that's the time that Gemini was introduced. Maybe why not use that?
Good. Actually, I could relate to this. When my book was launched, I got some text from my childhood friends. Like, I haven't been in touch with them. Yeah, one is in California. Shweta, my another friend Sanjana from Australia, they text me. And first I was like, okay, are they sharing any bad reviews or something? But yeah, their messages were so heartfelt. And
Oh,
when I read this, it was so, I could connect those points.
lovely. Okay.
Okay, so the next in about the childhood favorite cartoons.
Oh, lovely. I'm glad you are reading that one out. No one has read that. Yes, please go on.
I am a person who lives in nostalgia all the time.
Yes.
Yes, so childhood favorite cartoons, nostalgia and laughter bundled together. So the illustration says, I used to laugh at the slapstick in this cartoon as a child. Now I relate to the chaos. Adulting is hard, but at least Tom getting hit with a frying pan is still funny. I knew Tom is dramatic, but was Terry always this petty? Hmm. And I am both, lol. And the caption says, when the chaos on screen proves to be the calm you need in life. I love watching those cartoons. I miss those actually now. Means
Yeah,
I am a
same.
90s kid and I love those cartoons and I miss them. But I'll make sure that my child watches them and I could enjoy those cartoons again. And they
Yeah.
are like
You
therapy. Those
can
cartoons are like
relive your
therapy.
childhood through her now. Yeah.
Yes. Those cartoons bring nostalgia as well as they are like therapy. Means it makes
Yeah.
you
True, true,
forget
true.
everything and they zone you out.
Yes. And Tom and Jerry is a classic. I mean, it's impossible to look at an episode and not laugh.
True, Tom and Jerry. I would also like there were Tailspin and Uncle
My God.
Scrooge.
Yeah, Uncle Scrooge was like, it was like my लाइफ में क्या चाहिए मुझे बस ऐसा तिजोरी चाहिए जिसमें मैं नहा सकूं.
True. I also wondered if that exists or can someone actually make it. But yeah, those
Yeah,
were
I want to
such good
swim in a
cartoons.
tijori full of coins. Yeah.
But yeah, but Tom and Jerry tops all the cartoons. And then just the next is Catching a Sunset.
Yes.
So I'm a person who's always chasing sunsets.
Lovely. Okay.
Yes. Actually, my house is beside a hill. It's near the Tagore Hill. And the sun sets just behind the hill. And it's such a beautiful view. And I always take out my phone and keep clicking those sunset pictures, even though I won't use them ever.
Yeah. You understand my obsession also then. Yes. Yay.
Okay, so catching a sunset. Sunset spotted. Proof I went outside today. This was probably nature's way of saying you survived another chaotic day. Here's a reward. The caption says, made it to the sunset like it was an RSVP only event. So true. I think sunsets are calming and give this assurance that the day is finally coming to an end.
Yes. And yes, it's nature's way of saying, ये लो, आज का तुम्हारा reward.
True. You have survived it finally.
Yes. Excuse me, I'm
Okay.
still recovering from the cough. Yeah, please go on.
Uh, oh, I feel like reading all of them. So the next one is from D, Dancing Without Inhibition.
Oh yes, this one's my favorite too. Yes. This is me on most days in my kitchen without an audience. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so Dancing Without Inhibition on a favorite or long forgotten song. Mostly happens at home and when I'm alone, so don't ask for proof. And the illustration says, if the neighbors can see me through the window, I hope they are rating my performance. And the caption says, when the beat drops and I temporarily forget the task on hand. It
Yeah,
happens.
Janan is saying going out with friends for chai during sunset is best. Yes, exactly. Or maybe
Oh,
when you are on the rooftop with your friends and sharing a cup of chai and the music is on, best, best, best.
true, 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 true.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
this
so
reminds me, sunset on the hills means when we used to go with our friends during sunset, we would have Maggie and chai, and
yes.
those memories are long lived.
Yeah. हाय कहाँ नॉस्टैल्जिया में खो गए हम.
So dancing, when I read your snippets, ना मेरे अपने कहानी मुझे याद आ जाती. Like when I dance before my baby was born, I would dance. Means whenever my parents would go out, I would dance to my heart out. And अभी भी I dance with my child. Okay, I dance wildly. बस यही सोच के कि she doesn't remember me dancing those steps when she grows up.
Oh, oh, I'm sure she enjoys it. And she's going to remember.
We
I'm
both enjoy right
with
now. Yes,
fondness.
we.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are enjoying our time right now.
Okay, thank you so much for reading those out, Pinky. Would you like to read out a few more, or should we wrap now?
I think one more last.
Yes, of course, sure, yes.
Raindrops on windows. I think,
Wait, just a minute. We are going to R. Raindrops on windows. Yes, found it. Yeah.
yes. Raindrops on windows. The peaceful rhythm of rain tapping on glass. The illustration says, why does this make me want to listen to sad songs? Maybe I'm also just a drop on the glass of the universe, waiting to slide into purpose. Oh my god, how am I relating to a raindrop? Yes, drop. I too am trying to find direction while slipping aimlessly. Sigh. The caption says, Alexa, play Manali's monsoon playlist. I think we all relate to this. Like we zone out to some other world when we are watching the rain tapping on the window, especially when I'm driving and the raindrops hit the car window. I
Yeah.
think
हाँ,
the
मतलब
song is playing.
you might be happy in life, but you immediately start thinking of sad moments or go into nostalgia.
Like we are crying the raindrops.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the lovely reading. I'm glad you picked out those illustrations which haven't been read so far. So very happy about that also.
I
Okay.
enjoyed reading all of them.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm sure
so
you also have a few questions for me. Let's.
yes, I do. I have been dying to ask this since it was launched. So your book beautifully captures these small yet significant everyday joys, right? So that we usually take for granted. So I'm really curious to know, when did the inspiration to write Fit Melt actually strike you? Like when you were actually living those moments that you describe in the book, or later on when actually as a reflection of how those small moments made you feel?
So actually, the concept of the book started way back in 2020. And I had not thought about converting those into a book just yet, but they started out in the form of social media posts that I used to put out once or twice a week with the hashtag silly things that make me happy. So I used to put out those regularly by sharing
Okay.
little nuggets like these from my everyday life. Whenever I've had a bad day or a bad moment and something suddenly happened in my life which changed my mood or helped me get over whatever was making me depressed or sad. So that was the concept. That was where the conception seed was laid for this book. And when I started sharing these nuggets on social media, and people started relating to it so much, the post became very popular. And in fact, it went on to a point where people would discuss those posts in my absence when they were meeting each other. And I was like,
Wow,
my God,
lovely.
इतना popular हो गया है क्या ये?
That's the best thing.
एंड देन दे वुड शेयर इट विद मी दैट आज हम लोगों ने ये डिस्कस किया और हम हंस रहे थे कि आज मनाली ने ये शेयर किया, इतना अच्छा, इतनी हंसी आ रही थी यार. हाउ इज शी सो विटी एंड हाउ इज शी सो ऑब्जर्वेंट. सो आई
Wow.
लाइक वाओ, फैन क्लब अभी से. So that's how it started. And the praise and relatability factor to those posts was the inspiration I needed to start thinking about maybe converting this into a book.
Hmm.
So it's I started compiling those nuggets whenever I was started putting out the social media post. I started, when the idea of converting them into a book was laid in my head, I started compiling them in a folder, in a Word document, and that's how I had a few already by the end of 1 year, probably, or maybe 8 months or something. I already had 50 of those
Okay.
nuggets listed out
Oh,
because I was
nice.
doing it regularly on social media. And, once you start something, the idea comes to you. And,
True.
when the thought comes to your head, you immediately go to your folder and you note it down. Even if I
Yeah.
was not putting it out on social media just yet, or it wasn't already out, when the idea came to me, I listed it down and maybe thought I will do it later. So that's how I had a good enough compilation at the end of 6, 8 months or 1 year. But I gave up on the idea of converting it into a book at that time because something else happened which made me lose confidence in the content that I had created by then. I lost faith in social media because I lost a couple of accounts on Instagram. I had a good following on
Mhm.
Instagram then. It was 13K followers, and I lost that account. And
Oh
after
my
that, I
God.
started another account. Again, within a span of 4 or 5 months, I had gained about 4.5K followers, and I lost that account also. So
Oh my God, that would be a nightmare.
exactly. So I not only lost confidence in the content itself, I lost confidence in myself as a content creator. So
Hmm.
I completely gave up on it, and this would have been there in my drafts folder forever, for life forgotten, if not for the point where I became an active member of the block chatter community. And
Yeah.
Suchita was on an episode of the Author Collaborative in
Yes.
2024, and we were discussing about stories. And in fact, we were discussing what we were going to do for the upcoming A to Z challenge. And I asked her, she asked me. She talked about a concept that she had been working on. She was not very confident about using it as a part of her block chatter A to Z challenge. And she asked me the same thing. Is there something in your draft folder that you would like to work on and use
Oh.
it as your inspiration for the A to Z challenge? And that's how I was like, yes, there is one particular concept about a book that I have given up on. Maybe I will use it this time for my A to Z challenge. And that's how I went back to my drafts folder, and then I looked at the 50 nuggets that I already had. I was like, this is good enough to start the challenge. And then it became like, an everyday process. As you know,
Hmm.
when you are a part of that challenge, the people
Hmm.
itself are so motivating to you that the ideas come to you. That become the
True.
biggest booster for you कि ये continue करना है. People are reading it, people are
Hmm.
liking it, people are appreciating it. I have to be true to my audience also. I have to give them something
True.
more that they can continue enjoying this journey that I have started. So it became an everyday process. And in on my blog itself, I created another draft, where I took the 50 nuggets that I had, I listed them down in the form of A to Z. और एक alphabet को ले लेके I as I don't know if you remember, but with each letter I used to put out 5 nuggets
Hmm.
in the A to Z challenge. अगर A आज A है, A letter का
Yes. Yes.
है, then I would list down 5 things from the letter A. Then the next day from B, I would list out 5. So that's how I started, developing the nuggets further. 50 to the already, but they were not going to be enough because, 26 into 5 already became 136, which was
Oh.
which was way more than 50. So
Yes, I
I,
remember you also put up a question at the end that which one did you relate to, and people
yeah,
would choose from those multiple
yes,
snippets.
exactly. So that engagement, the kind of engagement and response I got to the first few posts itself was motivation booster enough for me to continue doing it and try to come up with
Yes.
new nuggets from each alphabet and keep the excuse me, audience engaged. I'm so sorry. I'm still
Mhm.
recovering from the fever that I had recently. Just give me a minute. I'll just drink some water.
Yeah, yeah, sure. You're
So yeah,
still doing the show. It's a great thing actually.
thank you so much. Yeah, but this is what motivates me to go on. This is what is going to be my medicine to recover quickly. That's why.
True.
So yeah, that's how it started, and then it went on. I initially, when the concept was there, of course, I didn't have an idea in my mind that I want to do this alphabetically. But as part of the challenge, I decided to continue with that same thing
Mhm.
because it was going well, it was being received well,
Yes.
and it was also a unique, the concept it was itself was unique, but this was
True.
another unique touch to it over and above that. So I continued that. After a point, I think it becomes simpler. I think you understand what I'm saying here.
Mm.
You get used to, once you have the idea clear in your head, you get used to churning out the same content in the same pattern. So
Yes.
once I was with done with A, B, C, D, E, then it became a natural process. I think a few alphabets were a little more trickier than the others. Like for example, the letters like X, Y, Z, they were
Ah.
very difficult to, but I put my head to it, and it comes around. And of course you have Google now. We are blessed to be in the age of Google, where where you can easily, you know uh, search for terms from that particular letter, and then you can weave a story around it. So Google came in handy, and of course we have also have Chat GPT. I did take assistance from that. I know I have no qualms in admitting that I used AI for, assisting me in the content for this book, because otherwise it would have been a very difficult and a long process. I have used I have already mentioned in the disclaimer that I have used Gemini for my illustrations, but yes, for the content also I have used sometimes Chat GPT, sometimes Google, for giving me the inspiration that I needed to continue with it. So that's how the whole process came together.
Yeah, actually, that's very brave of you to declare it in your book. See, AI is the future. You have to use those tools to assist you.
Yeah.
Sometimes people look down upon you for using these tools, like as if you don't know to how to write. Like, but you should be smart enough to use it as an assistance, not like directly copying it from that. So,
Exactly.
yes, there's no harm in admitting and using the AI, ChatGPT, or any other app. And I think you have come up with this, you have come out with this, and this will encourage so many other writers to actually admit it. So thank you.
I'm glad. One for the community. I am ready to take one for the community.
Yes. So my next question,
Hmm.
though the book feels lighthearted, it's playful and fun, but there's a quite depth underneath. Yeah. So it talks about like self acceptance and slowing down, and to finding joy even when things aren't perfect. Okay. So while writing these pieces, did you ever find yourself reflecting on your own expectations as a writer, or just as a person trying to find balance? And did that change the tone or voice of the book in any way?
So I have always been someone who is able to communicate better in words rather than, in written communication rather than verbal word. So
Mm.
that has always been my strong point ever since I was in school. So this goes back a very, very long time, almost 2 decades ago, where, I found my space as a reader. And then I used the same kind of inspiration that I got from my book in my own writing. So creative writing was always an outlet for me to, share thoughts with the world, which I was not able to communicate through my mouth, so to say.
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, I have been told that I am bolder in my writing than I am in person. And that kind of was always the motivation for me to continue using writing as a means to express myself. And over the years, the gap between what I say verbally and what I put down in words has eventually reduced. And I'm glad for that growth, because that's how you grow, right, as a person.
True.
And when the idea first came to me for this book, I was a different person, and I'm glad that
It
uh,
changed.
that yeah, that turn happened, because if I had put out this book in 2020 or 2021, it wouldn't have been so bold and so,
Mm.
unfiltered as it has come out today. Because I was a different person then, I was still learning not to hold back from my speech. I was still somebody who would prefer to convey something that I wanted to through the written word. I wouldn't be
Mm.
able to say it out
I can
loud.
totally relate. Yes.
Yeah.
You have evolved as well as your writing has evolved along the way.
Exactly. And it's a blessing in disguise that whatever happened happened. I was not able to, I put this book away. The idea of this book was shunned away by me, and then it came back
Mhm.
again in 2024. So I'm very, very happy that that happened, because I have changed as a person, and that has shown through in the content of this book. Because the character that I have used here, which is myself, she is a no nonsense person, and that is what I have become now. I wasn't this person 5 years ago, and I am very very shameless. And अब मुझे नहीं पता, मैं बोल दूंगी मुझे जो बोलना है, तुम तेल लेने जाओ. If I am
Somewhere,
offended by something you have done, I am going to speak my
true.
mind.
Somewhere we all are like that, and that's why we relate because अरे इसने भी तो यही कहा, हम भी तो यही सोचते हैं. So somewhere we are able to relate क्योंकि अंदर में we are that bold, but maybe we are not able to come out right now. But kudos to you that yes, it is very difficult to share the personal space, personal moments with your readers, and you have done that, and we all loved it. We all loved it for what you have done.
So I'm just glad, once again, one for the community, for everyone to learn to accept themselves as they are, self
Yes,
love, self
very
acceptance, and
important.
yeah, and express yourself.
True,
भले आप verbally ना कर पाओ, you can start by communicating in your mind or through the written word.
true, true, true.
मन में तो गाली दे ही दो उनको.
I can relate because few years back, there are some things, very personal things that I wasn't ready to write. But as I am moving ahead in my journey, things become pretty easy now to write
Yeah,
about them. So yeah, I could totally relate
I
about
think
it.
it's also because once we start aging, also once we are in our
Mm,
in our midlife,
true.
so difficult to accept. Yeah, but once you are in your 30s, you
Maturing.
stop caring. You stop caring.
Yes.
So yeah, that evolution only happens once you have crossed a certain age. Also, I think.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, thank you for asking those questions. It feels good to share my journey of the book through the questions that you have asked.
It was inspiring. It's always good to know how it's like how you started and how an author, what is their process of writing, what is their process of thinking. So it inspires me, and maybe I'll take some inspiration from you. And when I am doing my future projects,
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear that, and always ready to share some of my wisdom. Not wisdom, I would say my experience.
sure, thank you.
Okay. And that brings us to my favorite part of the show, which is the rapid fire round. So, how we'll do this is we'll do back and forth. One question I ask, one question you ask. Okay? Shall I?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question to you is you have already mentioned this that the childhood part of the girls was derived from the stories that you have heard from your grandmother and your mother. So, I want to ask you which one was harder for you to write? Was it their youthful innocence or was it their adult scars?
Um, well, for me, it was the adult scars because the innocence. I think things are simple when you write from a child's perspective. It's very simple. The emotions are smooth, they flow beautifully, and they express. But
Yeah.
when we mature, we tend to keep things inside. Okay, we express less, we assume more, and so it was very difficult. I mean, it's like writing through silences and distance, but
Hmm.
maintaining that emotional weight. So adolescent scars was a bit difficult part to write.
I'm sure it was a difficult journey. So now a follow-up question. And it's not rapid fire anymore, but I am very curious. I have to know what was the thought that you had in mind? What was your inspiration and motivation while writing those stages of Kasturi and Mina's life in their adult life?
So once they are separated, I won't be revealing much. So I wanted to explore their emotions,
Hmm.
like explore their emotions. So Meena is different from Kasturi. How
Hmm.
Meena took the things and situation was totally different from how Kasturi did.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do justice to both the characters. Like ऐसा नहीं कि दोनों में से कोई भी इन्वेस्टेड नहीं था या दोनों ही इन्वेस्टेड नहीं थे, ऐसा नहीं था. दे बोथ केयर डीपली फॉर ईच अदर.
Hmm.
सो I took that as an anchor. वो anchor है, and then I have to build the story from there, like how they're separated, and then who takes the effort to explore the
Hmm.
other, and how they come around. And for the ending, actually, I have rewritten the ending so many
So many
times.
times.
Till it just felt right. Ki, okay, this sounds right. So I had to explore around these characters, their emotions and their feelings, till I reached a point like, yeah, this actually just justifies the story and to the
Great.
characters.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, your turn.
Thank you. Okay, so if writing were a person, how would you describe your relationship with it? Best friend, therapist, or drama queen?
मेरा राइटिंग मेरे जैसा ही है तो वो ड्रामा क्वीन ही होगा.
Okay, that was nice. Bold and drama queen.
Yes. I mean, it has its own moods like I do. So कब inspiration hit करता है, you never know. At the oddest hour, and even when the inspiration hits, there is lack of motivation. So,
I think a therapist. I think your writing is a therapist for the readers.
oh wow, very happy to hear that. चलो किसी के लिए तो therapy की तरह वर्क कर रहा है.
So yeah, okay.
Okay, my next question to you is, if you got to add a bonus epilogue, what would it hint at?
Okay. So it would hint at Kasturi staying back even when her project ends and maybe reconnecting with her roots. And from Mina's point of view, well, she finally closes that red velvet diary and maybe moves on to write new chapters of her life.
Yes, maybe another bestseller. Yes. Okay, your turn.
Hopefully. So, one small joy that recently made you smile.
I think yesterday itself. So I have been sick for most of this week and I haven't been able to step out of the house for a while. Yesterday was the first time in the past few days that I generally go for my daily walks twice a day, and I haven't been able to do that lately. Yesterday, for after a little gap, I was able to step out of the house and go for my walk. Even though a little bit, मतलब रोज इतना नहीं, but a little, 15 minutes walk I was able to do, and I was very happy about that. That I'm recovering and I'm getting back to my healthy self.
Okay, means that's a great achievement. Like when you are down with fever or not feeling well, doing 1% also feels like, okay, getting
Yeah.
back to track. It means a lot.
Yes, and it was very, very, I felt very grateful for that. कि चलो हो रहा है. Life is coming back to normal.
That gives you hope and
Hope and
confidence कि
confidence.
okay, अब सब ठीक होने वाला है.
Yes, exactly. Okay, my next question to you is, one thing about Kasturi that readers might misunderstand. There were points in the story that I was misunderstanding Kasturi, so I want to know it from you.
I'm so glad you asked this because yes, I have received this sentiment from so many readers. Well, since the whole story is from Meena's point of view, so people might misunderstand Kasturi's distance to be indifferent.
Yeah.
But it isn't. Kasturi's silence is her shield. Well, it's a way she uses to process through the emotions that maybe she cannot fully process. Okay. She cares deeply, almost painfully. She lives through the years in guilt. And she also takes so much effort to explore Meena. But one thing is that she maybe hasn't found a language to express her grief, her hurt. So
Yes.
it's basically silence. Means most of us are not good with expression or emotions. So she actually delves into her work. Like she gets distracted with her work. She means tries to forget everything. She packs it in the back of her mind. But yes, so silence is misunderstood as indifference, but it isn't. It's just a way of dealing with emotions.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. Okay, your turn.
Thank you for asking. So, what's one writing ritual or guilty pleasure you absolutely can't write without?
So I have this problem that I cannot sit on a desk and write for long. My
Okay.
legs have to be ऐसा spread out. पैर नीचे जमीन पे नहीं रहते हैं when I want to write. Maximum 1 hour. Then I have to मतलब पैर लंबे करके बैठना है मुझे. That's one
Okay,
thing.
that's an interesting one.
So yeah, for these episodes, it's the longest that I sit on this chair, to be honest, because otherwise मेरा ऐसा पैर लंबे करके couch पे बैठ के I'm very comfortable. So yeah, that's one ritual that I have been trying to get rid of, but it's not happening. So yeah, to each his own, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my next question to you is: if Meena and Kasturi had to list their tiny joys, what would top it? Chai together, an old song, or finally clearing a misunderstanding, or something else maybe?
Well, as soon as you mentioned an old song, well, I would go with it because music is their shared language.
Yes.
Even it's because of the music that the title of this book came into being, The Song of Our Bond. So, yes, they would always share an old song because they are trying to create their own unique tune from their favorite folk tunes in the
Yes.
story. So, the answer would be an old song always.
Nice. Okay, your turn.
Okay. So, if your book had to give one piece of advice to the characters in my book, what would it be?
Keep writing. They stopped. They stopped. That's what I would say. Don't stop that.
Yeah, true.
Okay, my last question to you is: if Fit Melt and the Song of Our Bond were people, what would they be? Would they be best friends? Would they be siblings? Or would there be chaotic roommates? Or anything else?
Okay, so I would look at them like chaotic roommates because they are totally opposites, okay, and
Yeah.
they will balance each other out so well. So
Yeah.
one is funny, playful, full of joys, and the other one is intense, emotional, and rooted in memory. So
Yes.
I think they would make a perfect chaotic roommate, and I wonder what they would be discussing during their midnight conversations.
I think the one thing they are going to surely bond over is music.
Yes, totally. That's the one common thread between them.
Yes. Okay, that brings me to the end of my questions. Your last question.
Okay. Okay. So if you could turn one character, emotion, or a moment from my book into an illustration, what would you choose and why?
I think the moment during their adult versions when they sing the song that connects them.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I think I would take the first time as children, when they sing that song together, and then blend it with
Hmm.
the time when they meet as adults and they are singing the song together again. So I would
Lovely,
blend the
lovely.
two moments.
I could already picture that. It's lovely. It's really beautiful, very creative, in fact.
Okay. Oh, so much fun, the rapid fire. Now we move on to another favorite bit, and it's game time. We are going
Oh,
to play a bingo where I am going to. So, this is the Fit Melt bingo to test whether you are living the
okay.
Fit Melt life or not. We are going to test you on that. And I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. These are all nuggets from the book itself. You just have to
Hmm.
answer in yes or no. Okay?
Okay,
The
let's go.
first one. Okay, the first one. Witnessed a perfect sunset in the last 7 days.
Yes, every day. As I said, I live near a hill and I witness it every day.
Okay, own a pair of jeans that fits just right.
Yes, one that I recently bought fits to that category. Yes, after a long,
Awesome.
I just got one. Yes.
Awesome. You should buy more from their brand now. You know what fits.
Yes,
Okay,
revelation.
next one. Ate ice cream before it melted.
I am a slow eater. I enjoy my ice cream, and by the time I'm finishing, it melts. It kind of melts. So no.
A few drops are already rolling
Yeah.
down your palms. Yeah, I can get that. Okay, next one. Nailed a witty comeback at the right time.
No.
No.
I always come back with something witty moments later. Means maybe when I come back home or days later. So no.
Okay. Next one. Went on a peaceful walk alone.
Yeah. Yes. On weekends when my husband takes care of the baby, I get
Yeah,
a chance to work.
great. So today it's going to happen. Something to look forward to.
Yes.
Okay, next one. Got lost in a great book.
Oh, yes, yes. Uh,
Okay,
Always. It happens, yeah, most of the time.
great. On that note, I want to ask you what is it that you are currently reading?
What is that?
What is your current read?
Okay, the book Beneath the Divided Skies by Natasha Sharma that I won during
Wow,
the blog of
hi.
yes.
Shout out to Natasha also, another ECM member. And yeah, I am very jealous because you're getting to read the book for the first time.
Yes, I mean, it's a lovely book. I think
Yeah.
my review will say how I feel
In for
about
a
it.
very, very beautiful journey. Enjoy that. And
Yes.
you have not asked, but I'm going to still say that my current read is The Silent Patient, which has been on my TBR for the last 3 years, and I'm finally getting to read it. So I'm very happy about that.
Okay. Chalo, clap for you. That's great.
Okay, next one. Took a shower without adjusting the knobs in the past week.
Yes, actually, I have tried that so much that now I keep the shower on the warmer side more, and my skin is used to it now. So yeah.
I adjusted to the shower.
True.
This is a good one. ये कुछ नया आया आज. Okay, next one. Took up a new hobby or did something creative.
Yes, I took up a new hobby. Yes.
Oh, lovely. Nice. Next one. Heard a song you forgot you loved.
Oh yes. Recently, I heard a KK song that I almost forgot, and yes, it was nice.
KK songs है मतलब वो तो हमेशा I can
Yes.
understand. Next one. Found an old note or photo.
Hmm. Photo.
Oh, lovely. Next one. Spotted a rainbow in the past year.
No.
Hmm. I can understand. India में थोड़ा वैसे भी difficult हो जाता है.
Difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's difficult.
Next one. Had a random idea that sparked joy.
Ah, yes.
Great. Took yourself on a date or day out.
No.
I can understand
Apart
that.
from
You have a
work,
toddler.
yeah,
Yeah,
works,
you have to.
very
Yeah, you
difficult.
have a toddler. Yes. Next one. Smelled something baking.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. The D'Souza's are your own neighbors also.
Yeah, maybe someone was baking, yes.
Yeah.
My,
Nice.
my nose is very active.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Foodies have that, knack of
Yes.
smelling. Next one. Had a good hair day in the past 2 weeks. No,
I
अभी
had
भी
to take
होती है.
effort. I put on a lot of effort. अपने आप नहीं होते हैं.
Oh, that pain I can understand. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next one. Popped a bubble wrap.
Oh, yes. The book, I bought your book. It came, I guess, a few weeks back, and it came with a bubble wrap inside.
Oh my
And
God, I have to
I
thank
did that.
Amazon for this. Thank you, Amazon, that you are sending a bubble wrap with this book because it is so topical. मतलब वही जॉय के बारे में हम बुक में बात कर रहे हैं और वही उसी के साथ डिलीवर हो रही है. थैंक यू. नेक्स्ट वन. Ate your comfort food.
Oh, yes.
Oh, lovely. Next one. Gazed at the moon in silence.
Hmm.
Great.
Few days back, there was Purnima, and yes,
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
that
It was
often.
very, very, very beautiful. The
Yes.
moon is like a little yellowish tint also it had. Very
Yes.
beautiful. Next one. Bought something that made you giddy.
No, not in recent time.
Hmm. ठीक है. अभी अभी. It's time to self indulge. अभी जाके कुछ लो. Okay. Next one. Reconnected with an old friend.
Yes. Right after the book launch, I got in touch with so many my school friends. So it has been
Oh,
great.
oh, lovely. And you have done very well on the bingo, and you are living the fit melt life. Well done, Pinki.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. It was very creative of you to come with this bingo.
Yes, and I have to admit again that once again, ChatGPT was very helpful in structuring this. Of course, I had to
Beautiful,
put in my own
beautiful.
elements, but yes, ChatGPT was helpful, instrumental.
Nice, that's good.
So, yeah, that brings us to the end of the episode. And I asked this to most of my guests, especially to the guests I had a lot of fun interacting with. So, I'm going to ask you before I let you go, when are you coming up with the next book so I can have you again?
Okay. Well, after writing this book, I feel kind of empty. There is a void, and I am not able to fill it with some ideas at present. So hopefully soon. And अगर शो में आना है तो जल्दी कुछ लिखना पड़ेगा.
I'm going to ask you because this worked for Suchita and myself, so I'm going to ask you A to Z challenge में क्या कर रहे हो आप? वो आपकी अगली बुक बन सकती है.
I have some ideas actually. I was thinking about it. Okay, you actually sparked that idea. I am thinking about A to Z right now. I have been planning for it. That could become a book later on.
Awesome. So
Thank you. Thank you
maybe
so much.
around this time next year or earlier than that, we are going to do this again.
Yes, maybe, hopefully.
Looking forward to that. And thank you so much, Pinky, for doing this with me. I know we had been struggling to find a common ground with the time and the day. So I'm
Thank you for being
finally
patient with
glad
me.
that we were able to do this. And as you can see, मेरे पीछे बैकग्राउंड डार्क से लाइट हो गया है तो यहाँ सनराइज हो गया है फाइनली.
Okay.
And
I
on that,
hope you will go to sleep again.
yeah, I am planning to. Now let's see. Thank you so much. It was super fun having you here, and I look forward to hosting you again. Bye. Have a great day
Bye.
ahead.
Thank you so much. Great day. Bye bye.